What's up, Dilly Gang? We're back once again, and in this video we're going to talk about the kick drum module. And there's a lot of options here, so we're going to go to program edit and we're going to take a look and talk about the kick drum and what it can do. All right, so as you can see, just for context, I have the kick drum loaded up as just a kick drum by itself. I'm not using the multi, so we can focus on one module and explore its possibilities and what you can do with it. So if I hit menu, program edit, we're coming back. And as you can see, we have a few options here. We got one shot. And one shot means that if you activate one shot, when you tap that note, it's going to ring out. But if you turn on one shot, it's only going to trigger that note as you hold down the pad. Chromatic. You can hit different notes on the keyboard or do different pad forms there. If I turn off chromatic, it's going to stay in one note. So I'm going to stay off of chromatic here just for this option. As you can see, if I hit the pad hard, we get more. Right? If I turn down the velocity to 0, now it doesn't matter how hard I hit it. It will not track the velocity. So if you want that velocity sensitivity, you can do that. If you turn on full keyboard, it's going to automatically give you 100% all the time. So those are the parameters there. Now let's look at this. Now we have a velocity too. So let's see what happens if we assign velocity. So I'm going to assign velocity. I'm going to turn it up to 100%. And this is another parameter that can change based on how hard or how soft the note is hit. If I turn on target, and let's say if I go to parameter 1. Now it doesn't tell you that, but I think that parameter 1 goes to tune, parameter 2 goes to hold, parameter 3 goes to sweep. Well, of course I could be wrong, but it doesn't say. But I have a good feeling that because there's only 8 parameters here, and I see that the screen is glaring on that. So let's see. Yeah, that screen's glaring on it, but we're going to work on that. So as you can see, that parameter can affect different things. Oh, okay, where did that glare go? All right. So that parameter can go to pitch. All right. Obviously, you can see that we can go the other way in velocity. We have glide time. If I go chromatic, and I'm using the MIDI keyboard to adjust that. Notice that we're able to slide from one note to another. If I turn up the glide time, this is like paramento. Basically, glide time is the time between one note and the other note. Hear that? That's if you want that. We're going to turn that down to 0. And now we have different models. Let's listen to these all and see what they sound like. So for instance, 80, 808, obviously. That's basically sounds like a Roland TR-909. I don't think Akai can legally say it, so that's why I did it. Now we have a driven 8, so that sounds like to me a distorted or driven 808 sound. Hybrid, which is a mixture. Great for EDM, dance, electronic, trance. Sounds very similar to hybrid. A little bit more of a distortion there. Natural A. So you kind of hear that beater hitting the drum of the kick. what I'm seeing is that the screen is displaying all this, so I may switch to the screen for the next videos. Natural B. Hard. We got hard 2. You kind of hear a hi-hat sample in it, and it does have a hi-hat parameter right there. Okay, but I see on the screen there isn't much that you can see on there. We got clipped, kind of more of a digital, kind of like a, I would say kind of like a video game or 8-bit kind of sound there. So let's go back to 80, and we're going to look at that. So obviously you can use your Q knobs to change that. So tune obviously does this. You got hold. Which basically tells the module how long you want the note to hold after you trigger it. Decay, how long you want the note to last after the hold phase is complete. Sweep represents the time from the highest part in the pitch to the lowest part of that 808. So if I go sweep here, if I turn this up, hear that sweep down going to doom. If I turn that sweep down, notice there's no little. And this is just in one module. Go to harmonics. Got a little extra harmonic in there. I see I'm clipping a little bit on those sounds, so I'm going to back that off just a little bit. Want some click in there. The click represents the little clip sound at the beginning. Want to add some noise. You can add a noise parameter to that and then change the timbre of that noise. You can add get rid of that click, go down to the click parameter. Get rid of some of that harmonics, make it more smoother. And of course, if you want to change the pitch, turn chromatic back on. Yeah, and as you can see, we can really have fun with that and really just go to town with it. Right? Same thing with the 909. But notice that there's different parameters that show up depending on the model that you select. So if I want to take that decay down, let's turn that decay down. Sweep decay, sweep def. We can also, and it has a built-in distortion in it on the drive. We can tune it down. Now you can make a bass line out of it, and this is just one kick module there. That sounds like a song. And we haven't even added any effects. So let's go back to 808, because I mean you can do this all these, but I want to use more of the basic sound to sort of show you what the transient shaper does for this sound. So I'm going to add a little bit of sweep to it. Now we're going to go to transient. Now notice that each one of these tabs, you can see that we can turn it on and turn it off here. So if I go to Transient and I activate it, if I go to attack, we're going to hear that attack get more aggressive. Now I think you'll hear this more when we do the snare module. But attack makes it sound more aggressive in the beginning of the sound. If I want to make that 808 last longer, turn up the sustain. Here I kind of pulls out that volume from it and makes it sustain more. That's a big kick. Yeah, I see I'm overdoing the, and you got a main gain here, so if I'm too hot, I can bring it down there because I hear it clipping. Let's add some distortion. So I'm going to turn on the distortion module. We don't hear any yet, but we see that we have dry at about 15 dB. No mix. Turn it up a little bit. Adding some to the mix. We got the pre-shape there. We can turn up the drive. Really go crazy with it. We can turn down the mix a little bit, kind of give you a little bit of a mix between the two. So we got that EQ comp. Turn that distortion module off right there. We're back where we were before. And now you got different highs here. You can't really hear a whole lot here in this module, but obviously if you want highs, you can shape that there. If you want to add low and just blow your sub out, you can do that there. And notice that we're not hearing anything because I don't have the EQ module punched on. It's in bypass. So when that square is solid, now we're just overdoing it, but you can really make that. I'm hearing the slap of that kick echo through the room, which means it's probably way too loud on my headphones right now. Same thing with the compressor. If you want to just make that thing pump, turn on the compressor. Play around with the ratio a little bit, turn around with that. Now you can really, you can really get aggressive, but we're going to hear more of this on the snare side. I think you're going to hear a lot more in that sonically. So that's the kick module. We have so many more modules to go through, lots of sounds to go through. So have fun with that. I know I am because it's a very deep module. So next we're going to talk about the snares and we're going to play with the sounds and see how that sounds. See you in the next video. We're out of here.